Hello everybody, I'm Justin Brooks.
I'm Ryan Lynn.
I'm Aiden Veer.
I'm Andrew Gilbert.
And we're here today on behalf of the Women's National Basketball Association to present to you Red Bull, why you should become an official sponsor of our league, and why soon Americans will be grabbing a Red Bull and flying with the WNBA. To start off, we were formed on April 19, 1996. We had 8 original teams. We are now up to 12 that are located in some major cities. These cities include New York, LA, Chicago, and our slogan is Expect Great. We actually have a very unique relationship with the NBA. We are the only professional team to have direct association with the men's team as a women's professional league. The NBA actually fully backs us, which means they support us financially, they support us strategically, and they actually want us to exist, which is really unheard of. Usually sports don't, they compete for customers. Instead, we actually cooperate with the NBA. And we actually have a very short history, but we do have iconic players. In 2011 was our 15th season, and we came out with the top 15 players in WNBA history. This included Sue Bird, Dina Taurasi, Lisa Leslie. Those are some players that a lot of you are probably familiar with. So our product, on the court, we have some star players. Right now, most of the excitement is around the 3 to see, which are Elena Delle Donne, Brittany Griner, and Skylar Diggins. These 3 were the first 3 overall picks in the 2013 WNBA draft. They are exciting players. They're phenomenal players. Fans absolutely love to come out and see them play. We also have a dynasty, which is the Minnesota Lynx. They have won 3 of the last 5 championships. A dynasty is actually very good for the league because it generates interest. So the average fan, or sometimes maybe just the casual fan, they're going to see the Minnesota Lynx are on TV, and they're going to either want to watch because they want to see them win, because they want to see them lose, or they just want to see why they're so darn good. Off the court, we have the WNBA Cares, which is our initiative that establishes programs to enhance the lives of youth and women. We also do WNBA Pride, which is when we dedicate the entire month of June to support equality and inclusion. So our demographics for the games, it's 78% females, but on TV it's actually a 50-50 split between male and female, so this shows that we hit both genders, but primarily our target audience is the females. The average season ticket holder has an income of $68,000. Our race breakdown is 66% Caucasian, 24% African American, 5% Latino, 5% other. This shows that about a third of our audience is minorities. Also, the median age is 33 years old. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, what's the average fan look like? We're going to say it's a Caucasian adult female who is got some money. And you got to keep in mind that this average fan won't just come alone. Typically, they come in groups, either with their family, but often with a group of like girlfriends or their mothers and their sisters, and that's how we get that female audience. So our organizational structure, our president actually just stepped down, is Laurel Ritchie. She served from 2011 until the first week of November, when she stepped down. So currently our interim president is Mark Tatum, who is the NBA Deputy Commissioner. For the teams are allowed to be sold and relocated. This is significant because prior to 2002, the NBA had full control over the teams and where they were located, who was able to own it, and this was seen as a stepping stone towards our independence, which we're looking to become non-dependent on the NBA. Even though we value our relationship with them, we do want to be able to stand on our own 2 feet. Statistics, so we play 47 regular season games that are televised on ESPN or NBA TV, and 11 of our games are televised on ESPN. And our TV viewership ratings are skyrocketing. As you can see, it's been up 86% on NBA TV. It's gone up 41% on ESPN. This is very encouraging. People are starting to watch the games, and we love to see that. In terms of attendance, the average game had 7,318 fans. This is a little bit down. It's about 200 down from last year, but I'll explain why that would be, or why that is in a little bit. But we did have 33 sellouts, which is 25 more than last year, which is incredibly positive. The team with the highest attendance was Phoenix. The team with the lowest attendance was San Antonio. And as you can actually see, their attendance was cut in about half. And the reason for this is that they were playing in the Freeman Coliseum this past summer instead of playing in the AT&T Center, which is their normal home arena. The AT&T Center was under renovation. They'll be back playing there next year. The attendance number will go back into the 7,000 high numbers, possibly even 8,000. So our overall attendance number should skyrocket, actually, probably into the 8,000s, maybe even 9,000s. For Red Bull, you guys were formed in 1987 by your CEO, Dietrich Mateschitz. You're manufactured in Austria. Your slogan is "It gives you wings." You have 70% of the world market share for the energy drinks, which is incredible. Last year alone, you sold 5.6 million cans for a total sales in the U.S. alone of $2 million, over $2 million. You guys use buzz marketing, which is kind of like commercials that are funny, a lot of social media, word of mouth, and Ryan's now going to explain the goals of our partnership.
Before coming to you guys to try to get our partnership, we took some time to get 3 key goals, where we came up with increased exposure, expand image, and increase sales. I'll go into each one individually. First one is increased exposure. This is mostly going to be done through signage and advertisement. During the All-Star Game weekend, we will be having some YouTube ads and commercials going out. At the same time, we will have logos on the All-Star jerseys that have the Red Bull logo on it. Red Bull will also be the official sponsor of the WNBA for the All-Star Weekend, and also be the official sponsor of the Land Dream. The slogan that we will have with the partnership will be "Fly the WNBA," and with social media, you'll be able to get some exposure of that with the hashtag #FlyTheWNBA. You see it on Twitter, Instagram, definitely will increase exposure. Next one is expand image. For Red Bull, whether you see, like, usually on the soccer field, you see the commercials, or even someone just going to a store and buying a Red Bull, it is primarily male. Obviously, there are some females that are buying Red Bull, but we see that your target market is mostly male. That's the exact opposite for us. As Justin said, about 3/4 of our audience are female. So if you mix us two together, you make a good combo, make it more of a 50-50 split, and you have the chance to be partners of the most successful women's professional league in history. And obviously, the 3 to see, when you have those 3 out there, and when you have them on like a can or whatever with the Red Bull logo on it, definitely will be able to expand your image that way as well. Alright, the last one is increased sales. As I said earlier, this will be through advertisements such as the YouTube ads and the commercials. Also, during the All-Star weekend, we will be selling the cans that have the WNBA All-Star logo on it, and also have one of the 3-C players on the can for limited time only. For a few weeks, mostly it'll go beyond like the East Coast, because that's where like the All-Star game is going to be held. You're obviously will be seen as the official energy drink of the WNBA, and you will be the only energy drink that will be sponsored by the WNBA. There's no other energy drink out there such as Monster, nothing involved. Next, I'll bring up to Christian, and he'll talk about components.
Alright, so now to get into the different components we'll offer you as a part of this partnership. The first one is our digital and social media marketing campaign. So this will consist of a number of different ideas designed to increase your exposure, increase your sales, and even expand your image. The first one being we will advertise our logo in one of the 3-C on Red Bull cans distributed throughout the northeastern part of the United States. There'll be up to 300,000 cans. And part of this contest, what it is there's a special code, unique code on each can. Fans will go out and buy these. They will enter that code on WNBA.com, and you have a chance to win a number of different prizes. First level, the prize you can earn is 10,000 people will get All-Star Game t-shirt with the Red Bull logo on the back. 50 people will get 2 tickets each to the WNBA Finals, probably in the lower bowl. And then 2 lucky winners will win 2 courtside seats for the All-Star Game. The second one is our Fly with the WNBA Trick Shot Challenge. This is kind of going along with that first one. Fans will go out and buy cans, but this time they will record a video of themselves saying the phrase "Fly with the WNBA" and then performing the best and most impressive trick shot, basketball trick shot they can, and then they will send that out on Twitter or Instagram, tag us and your company, and then we will give you guys the honor of choosing your favorite moment, and then that winner will receive an all-expense-paid trip to the WNBA All-Star Game and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to participate in our Celebrity All-Star Game, which Aiden will talk about more later. But these 2 ideas will not only increase exposure both on social media, increase your social media presence, it will also increase your sales due to the sheer amount of people buying Red Bull due to the promotion, which includes Red Bull drinkers who will probably buy more now, and WNBA fans who may have previously not been huge into Red Bull, but now they want the opportunity to do a number of these things, so they go out and buy Red Bull. The second one is off-season exposure, which comes down to a 3-on-3 charity basketball tournament. This will take place in the Disney Sports Complex in Orlando, Florida. It will be a 3-on-3 tournament of middle school and high school athletes who will be invited to come. There will be concessions and an open bar for the parents who will be there. And all the proceeds that are raised with those different things will be given to your charity, Wings for Life, and ours, WNBA Cares. There will also be player appearances by our players and other players who will sign autographs as well for the kids. So another component is our All-Star Game advertising campaign, which will feature the free to see, as mentioned before. There's going to be 3 different ad options on 3 different platforms. The first one will be a set of 2 ads run on Sunday Night Baseball. So the WNBA All-Star Game takes place on July 26th, and we have looked at the schedule for the baseball season on July 17th. There is a Sunday Night Baseball game, and looking at the schedule is the Red Sox and Yankees game. So those are 2 huge markets that you'll be advertising to and reach them with plenty of time for them to buy tickets if they want to for the All-Star Game. The second one is social media ads, specifically on YouTube. In previous years, we put out up to 10 videos advertising the All-Star Game, featuring players. This time, we'll give you guys a 15-second ad spot for the videos, 10 videos each. We average about 500,000 views per video, so that's a lot of exposure on social media for you guys. The last one is a spot on NBA Summer League, which takes place July 10th to July 20th. Once again, right before the All-Star Game, you will have 1 to 2 ads produced during that time, 15 seconds each. It will also feature 3 to see wearing an All-Star jersey with the Red Bull logo on it, advertising your company and the All-Star Game. These will take place on NBA TV, which is another platform for basketball fans who might also be interested in the WNBA All-Star Game as well. So now Aiden is going to go more into our All-Star Game weekend.
Okay, so now that Christian talked about our advertising we're going to be doing for the weekend, I'm going to get more into what is actually going to happen during the weekend. So the 2016 WNBA All-Star Game is going to be presented by Red Bull. With that, we're going to be doing in-game promotions for you guys. We're going to be having a t-shirt booth set up around the arena throughout the game, and they're going to be giving away t-shirts in return for some personal information and an email. As well as we're going to have a t-shirt cannon in between quarters to kind of get the energy level of the crowd up, and a half-court shot during halftime where someone will be chosen at random from the crowd. They'll get an opportunity to win $5,000 if they hit the half-court shot. In addition to this, the Red Bull logo is going to be on all the All-Star jerseys. So it's going to be on both teams. It's going to be right under the number, front of the jersey. This is going to be great exposure for your brand because it's going to be on national television, and the players are going to be on the screen the whole time with the Red Bull logo right there. Also, the jerseys are going to be for sale in the pro shop as well as online for fans, so that'll have the logo on it, so that's even more exposure for you guys. We are also going to have Red Bull signage and advertising around the arena during the game. So our two main spots that we think are going to get the most exposure are on the seat bottoms. So both the player benches, there's going to be a panel under the seat, kind of where the legs of the seat are, and there's going to be the Red Bull logo under every seat. So that's about 40 seats for both benches, and every time they zoom in on a huddle or a player on the bench or even any play near the bench, you'll see the Red Bull logo right there. Also, we're going to have advertising on the 200 level LED ribbon that wraps around the arena. This is really good. I think is the best advertising spot for the arena because it's the brightest advertising, it's always moving, and it's always going. It's right on the eye level of most of the fans. It's a great spot for them to notice it. We are going to have the product name be mentioned 6 to 8 times throughout the broadcast. The broadcast is going to be on ABC, a nationally televised station. So this is, again, great exposure, should raise sales and increase exposure for you guys. Lastly, the press releases for the team, for the game. So we're going to release a press to the outlets, the media outlets around Connecticut on the Eastern Coast. We're going to notify that you guys are the official sponsor for the game, as well as in the publications for the game, which include any game pamphlets, any schedules, anything like that will be handed out at the game will have the Red Bull logo right on it. In addition to the All-Star game, the weekend is going to include a celebrity All-Star game. This is going to include WNBA fans who are famous, as well as former and current NBA and WNBA players. This is going to be a fun-filled event, a way to draw in a new crowd kind of to the WNBA, and also the social media contest winner that Christian talked about will be get to participate in the celebrity game, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In addition to the celebrity game, we are going to have a post-game concert in the arena, Walk the Moon. We are going to play a set, which is a really up-and-coming band right now. They have a lot of #1 hits. It's really popular within the demographic that you're trying to expand to, so hopefully we'll get some new fans to the game for that. And lastly, there's going to be a VIP suite for Red Bull. You guys can use it for business connections, for employee benefits, however you'd like, and it's going to be there for the whole weekend. You guys will have access to every event, and you'll have VIP access, free drinks, free food, and everything like that. So the next component is we are going to offer you the official sponsorship for the Atlanta Dream. As the WNBA is trying to become more independent, they're trying to find new revenue streams. So a lot of teams are turning to jersey sponsorship. Currently, 10 out of the 12 teams in the WNBA are sponsored, have jersey sponsors. The Atlanta Dream are one of the 2 teams that don't currently. We thought they'd be a good fit with you guys because they're a really up-and-coming team. The last 3 years, they've had increased attendance at their games each year. So we think it'd be a great fit. We're going to offer you a 1-year contract with them, the same as our whole sponsorship package, with an option to add years. All the home games are played at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, so that's where all of your signage and advertising will be done. Your logo will be placed similar to the All-Star jerseys, will be placed right under the number on the home, away, and warm-ups for the team. So this is great exposure through when the games are televised, and also when fans are buying the jerseys. LED and courtside signage for Red Bull will be around the Phillips Arena, similar to at the All-Star game. We'll probably have the seat bottoms advertised, as well as the LED ribbon, maybe a spot on the court and on the Jumbotron. Red Bull will also get 2 to 3 TV mentions per TV broadcast for the Atlanta Dream. So that's either on their local TV network, ESPN, ESPN2, or NBA TV. They'll be mentioned in the publications for the teams, so any pamphlets, anything similar to All-Star Game, anything that's handed out at the game will have the Red Bull logo right on it, and they'll be advertising on the Atlanta Dream website. Lastly, a little separate from this, in addition to the sponsorship package with the Atlanta Dream, we are going to allow you guys to, you guys are going to gain the right as the official sponsor for the WNBA, and you guys can use that in other advertising campaigns in the off season. If you guys want to mention, it's a great affiliation to have. We're the most popular, most successful women's sports league in history. So lastly, after going through all the components, I'm going to talk about your return on investment. This comes down to, it's really the most important thing to you guys. You want to see how your return is coming through from these components. So there's a bunch of ways we're going to show this return. The first is through the codes entered from the can promotion. We're hoping to get hundreds of thousands of entrants. It's free to enter. All you have to do is buy a Red Bull, enter the code, and there's great prizes that are available, so we're hoping to get a good turnout for that. We can measure the success through how many people enter. Also through the number of emails collected at the All-Star game with the t-shirt giveaways. That's another great way to measure how much impact these promotions are having. The All-Star game, as you know, is kind of our marquee event for the sponsorship package. We chose it to be our marquee event because it's the most viewed and most sought out event of the WNBA season. Over the last 5 years or so, we've had 4 sellouts of All-Star games. 3 of those times it was at the Mohegan Sun Arena, where the game is going to be next year. So we're expecting another sellout next year. Also, jersey sales have been way up since the 3C have come into the league. From 2013 to 2014, jersey sales went up 36%, which is an astonishing number, and we see that trend continuing, which is a great sign for Atlanta Dream jerseys as well as All-Star jerseys that are being sold. And lastly, viewership for the All-Star game has also been increasing. From 2014 to 2015, it went up 23%, and the average viewership last year was 583,000 viewers. In addition to the All-Star game, we can kind of measure your return also through the social media contest. So it's going to be free to enter. We can measure how many people are entering based on how many videos are submitted, how many times we're being tagged, how many times you're being tagged, how many times the hashtag #FlyWithNBA is mentioned. So all these can be calculated, all these statistics can be measured and given to you to measure the return, as well as YouTube and TV advertisements. The number of views on our YouTube videos will determine the exposure for the ads, as well as the viewership during the Sunday Night Baseball, the Summer League. During the viewership during that will show how much exposure those TV ads are getting. And lastly, we can measure down to the second how much exposure each of your courtside ads are getting on TV. So there's a way we can measure how much time your ad is actually on the deep TV broadcast. Now I'm going to hand it off to Andrew to talk about the budget.
So the sponsorship rights fee is going to be a $500,000 one-year deal with the option to renew after that. And with the sponsorship rights fee, you get to be the marquee sponsor of the Atlanta Dream. You're an official sponsor of the WNBA. You're the official sponsor of the All-Star Game. You get in-game promotions, ticket packages for your corporate employees, signage in arenas, off-season, and social media exposure. So with that, you have a marketing budget of $750,000. And here's a detailed budget of what you're going to be spending. So for the first thing, the marquee sponsor of the Atlanta Dream. Recently, one of our teams just signed a deal with Frontier, and they got the logos on the jerseys right where the Red Bull logo would be for you guys with the Atlanta Dream, and they got the media broadcast, the publications, the signage in the arenas, and that cost will be about $250,000 for 1 year. Next is the NBA All-Star Weekend. The half-court shot we budgeted $5,000 for the winner, of course, if he makes the shot, he or she makes the shot. The t-shirt giveaways, we're going to be giving out 5,000 t-shirts at the game between the giveaways and the t-shirt cannon, and those are going to be produced at $4 each, which will be $20,000 plus the $500 for the workers. The 3C customized Red Bull can promotions and the giveaways. So we're going to be distributing 300,000 cans throughout the Northeast area and around the Connecticut area where the All-Star Game is placed, and we are going to put the players' logos and the promo codes on the cans for about 10 cents each. And then the other 53,000 comes from the giveaways that we'll be doing to that promotion. The Sunday Night Baseball TV ads are going to cost $60,000. It's primetime ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. It's the Yankees and the Red Sox, and those are going to be about $30,000 each for a 30-second ad. The NBA Summer League TV ads will be $9,000 each, which will be $18,000. We'll probably do that during a primetime NBA game, between probably two of the top rookies for the year. The Red Bull signage in the arenas for the All-Star Game includes the LEDs and the broadcast mentions and everything, and that will be $102,000, including the logos on the jerseys. The YouTube ads, so we put out, like Christian said, we put out 10 videos before the All-Star Game, and each combined viewership of those videos was 500,000, and each ad on a YouTube video costs about 10 cents. So we budgeted 50,000 for that. The ABC broadcast mentions, we have 6 of them, 2,000 each. That's on the national television. So 15-second slurb about Red Bull and Fly with WNBA. The post-game concert, Walk the Moon, is going to cost 30,000 and 10,000 for the setup. The social media contest winner with the hashtag Fly with WNBA, the trick shot, they're going to have the all expenses paid trip, so they're going to need the flight, the hotel room, the VIP experience, the courtside seats. That's going to cost $3,000. And then for your last component, the WNBA Cares 3v3 tournament and the Red Bull for Wings for Life, rental facility is going to cost $75. The signage of around the arena will cost $15, and then the hospitality and the workers will cost $10. So that puts us at $748,500 out of the $750. So to review today, our 3 main goals are to increase your exposure, expand your image, and increase your sales. Increasing exposure through the advertising in the arenas and at the All-Star Game, and through our social media campaign, hashtag Fly with the WNBA. Expanding your image, most of your athletes are males, and we feel like the main target market for Red Bull is males, so giving you access to the female target market that we have in the WNBA can expand your image. And with those 2 things, we can increase your sales through the sales promotions of the Red Bull cans and things at the All-Star Games. So, Red Bull, will you fly with WNBA? Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I mentioned as of recently, it's a trend that's happening. 10 out of the 12 teams actually already have logo sponsors on their jerseys, so there's no regulations in the WNBA for that. It's actually something that's a lot of the owners are really excited about, is this new opportunity.
Boost Mobile is one of the biggest sponsor of the WNBA, and they paid over $10 million to have those logos on 10 of the 12 teams right there in the patch. So,
you guys mentioned the NBA TV and how your games are broadcasted there. About how many viewers do those games get on TV?
I don't know if we have the specific number necessarily. We were more focusing on the trend that the viewership increased 86%.
We were trying to find events that were around the time of the All-Star game to put our advertisements on. We anticipate that the viewership numbers are probably not as high as normal NBA games, but also a little bit higher than WNBA games. So we probably I'd probably put it in the range of 300,000 to 400,000 for the summer league. That's just an estimate, though.
Other questions?
Red Bull likes to associate itself mostly with extreme sports, and I was wondering how you guys could tell us how you guys fit with that image of the WNBA.
Well, Red Bull definitely does do some stuff with extreme sports, obviously with at the same time they are the sponsor for the New York Red Bull, and soccer isn't, I would say, isn't the most extreme sport. It's definitely entertaining, but at the same time we will be having the trick shot, and at the same time we will be having the 3-on-3 tournament. So on the 3-on-3 tournament, it's not only just going to be females, so we'll obviously have males there too, and even some high school kids. If you see it on YouTube and even in their highlight reels when they're trying to go to college, they can dunk and stuff like that. So it could definitely be some extreme.
I also think part of what we're trying to do is expand the image. We're not trying to tap into the art. They're already very well established in that market, so we're in a sense not trying to extend that. We're trying to expand to different markets, which we think our female-based market would be great for them.
And to add on, lastly, Red Bull actually is sponsor. They do sponsor basketball players. Blake Griffin is sponsored by Red Bull, Rajon Rondo, John Wall. So those are a lot of stars in the NBA, and we're just trying to get them over to the WNBA.
So you said you were going to do some advertising leading on TV for Red Bull leading up to the game to promote Red Bull and its associates with the WNBA. Are you doing any TV advertising actually during the game broadcast itself?
Yes, we're going to have 6 to 8 mentions. That's going to be it's not going to be actual advertisements, but it's going to be mentions by the broadcasters. So 6 to 8 times during the All-Star game, they're going to mention Red Bull. That's either after a timeout, in between plays, or after a quarter's over, or something like that.
So what's the rationale behind advertising leading up to the event, but not actually during the event?
Well, we really want to. The purpose of advertising leading up to is so that in hopes that will increase our viewership numbers. During the event, we're going to have the in-game mentions, but we really think the money would be better spent spending it on advertisements leading up to, so that people actually are watching our game.
And also to increase the attendance at our games, and when the attendance is increased, they'll be able to see the promotions and the signage that we have in the arenas. And also, while the game's going on, the Red Bull logo will be on the jersey, so it's always going to be visible.
Now, at Red Bull, as somebody mentioned, we do a lot of extreme advertising or sponsorships where we're not in a traditional stadium or arena. Thus, we don't have a lot of experience dealing with luxury suites, VIP suites, and you've kind of left it open to us to do with it as we want. What would be your recommendation to us on a promotional activity related to the suite?
Well, I was one who talked about the suite, so I'll answer this. I think that with Red Bull, the majority of their sales are making big time, big money signing deals with either distributors or stores, like big time stores. I think bringing a prospective business client to the suite for the All-Star game would be a great way to establish a business relationship and possibly make a sale. Also, I think it could be a great way to give back to employees, either entry-level or corporate employees. If they're doing really well, they have high sales numbers, you can invite them out to the game, come spend some time, get a free drink, meet a player after the game. It'll increase the morale of the employees of Red Bull. So I think those are two ideas that could be used for that.
Then my final question, does the WNBA own the Atlanta Dream?
No, but they've actually, what he talked about is we weren't sure if they would have the rights to be able to do this, but we did some research and we actually found out the WNBA has a sponsorship deal with Boost Mobile where they have an agreement with, I think, 10 out of the 12 teams where the WNBA pretty much said that they need to put the Boost Mobile logo on their jerseys. So they have the right to tell teams that they can, and we're paying for the sponsorship. So we're not just telling Atlanta to put the Red Bull logo on there. We're giving them how much. He mentioned the other sponsorship sale, which was $250 for the year. So we just did the same thing as that.
Other questions for this group? All right, you're all done, gentlemen. Good job.